cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
We get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And please forgive my tardiness, okay? But I found some more interesting news about the Karmelo case right before I got on here. So we're definitely going to get into it. Okay, so let's see who's in here. D Major is here. All right, Nessie X. Okay, Nita's in Mike's World, Mr. Elevation, Aquarius MC, Leon, 57 Beige Fox, Claudette. Okay, let's get into it. Fierce 4R, Shirley. All right, Love Christy. Black Butterfly is here. Carmen, Christopher. Okay, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. I see you just anticipate. So Ashkan is here. All right. Chili Willie from Philly. Okay, Desmond. Shout out to all of my loyal worlds and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, I see you, Emperor Rex. Now let's get ready to get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes. Okay, I see you, Pathway. Yolanda. Okay, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, I'm going to be using some footage the footage of the fight that was at the White House, it was also ghetto on the front lawn. Okay, but they love to say we're ghetto. Okay, they love to say we're ghetto, but Trump is the epitome of that. Okay, so now I want to put some music in the background so I don't get any copyright claims or whatever. And then I'm going to also use an overlay. But I want to talk about this because one of the fighters, I believe his name is Josh Hawkins. Now, I've never heard of him because I don't watch UFC. Okay, I'm not into that. But this dude called Michelle Obama a man. Yeah, that's his name, Hockett. Okay, he called Michelle Obama a man. Trump's shock reaction to vile Michelle Obama slur revealed. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it because they say that, in fact, Trump had a smirk on his face. I'm sure he did. We're going to go to some of the clips that I have put together. Hold on, beloveds. Here we go. Oh, I forgot the background music. Okay. Yeah. But also, let me just say this. Now, you all know that I can't hear the music on my end. Okay. I haven't gotten that audio fixed yet. So I can't hear the music. So I'm going to need you all to tell me if the volume is okay. Okay. I'm going to need you all to tell me if the volume is okay. I don't want it to be too high or too low. I'm going to put it about right there. Okay. I'm just estimating. Okay. So can you all hear that? Can you all hear? Hey, Vince, I am from the UK with your nefarious self. Can you all hear the music? Okay, now is the volume okay? It's not too high, is it? Because I don't want it to be overshadowing what people are saying in videos. Okay, great. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Man, hold on, let me get the overlay.
I haven't made a lot of content lately, and the reason I haven't is because I don't know what to say anymore. If you look at America right now and you're not ready to fucking storm the streets and demand a revolution, then I don't actually know what to say to you. If you saw this guy get in the UFC fight on the White House lawn, which that sentence by itself, what the fuck? If you watch that guy get in the UFC fight on the White House lawn and call the wife of a former president a man, and you saw that and you were like, hell yeah, brother, then I'm not talking to you, quite frankly. But if you know everything that's wrong with that without me explaining it to you, I'm talking to you. What the fuck are we doing? We got into a war with Iran that we lost in elaborate fashion. We lost service members, we lost money, we increased the price of gas, all for nothing. And we're just like sitting here. We watched a motocross circus on the White House lawn yesterday. There was a UFC fight on the White House lawn today. A fight, by the way, the president slept through. It was for his big boy birthday. His big boy 80th birthday was today. As if he were the king and we're here to entertain him, you know, because he wants to be a king. He's already talked about running a third term. I don't know if he can stay awake long enough to see a third term, but what the fuck are we doing? In New Jersey right now, there's a concentration camp being ran by a private group called Geo Group that makes money to keep people in inhumane conditions, people that we are illegally kidnapping off the street by way of a private army built by the same president that fell asleep at the UFC fight today. The concentration camp in New Jersey called Delaney Hall. There was a concentration camp in Minneapolis called the Whipple Federal Building. There's one in Los Angeles called MDC, and they're all across the country. This is not something unique to any one city. The president has said that he will make sure that the midterm elections are monitored by the same people that are putting these people in concentration camps. I could go on and on and on and on about.
Now, I want you all to pay attention because basically Trump is going to try to have voter intimidation. That's what he's going to be engaging in because they're desperate, people, to win the midterms. And they're going to do it by any means necessary. And we already know they're planning to cheat. Okay, they're planning to cheat, to disenfranchise people and all of that. Okay, they're going to make a whole lot of problems because, like I keep telling you all, Steve Bannon already said, and I showed you the video, he said that they're all going to jail unless they win the midterms. Okay, everybody in the room's going to jail, including him. So they're desperate. Okay, so now they want to disperse ICE to voter locations. Okay, please pay attention.
The state of our union right now, I'm not even talking to MAGA or the moderates. I'm talking to people who know what the fuck I'm talking about. What the fuck are we doing?
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
See, this is a prime example why you don't allow white trash on the White House lawn. What Michelle Obama got to do with the UFC fight? That's just blatant disrespect. Then when somebody go to disrespect the Melania, we know she ain't no man. We done seen her inside. She got naked pictures all over the internet. Y'all done let this trash Josh Hockey get on the White House lawn. And we already got trash inside the White House that we've been trying to get rid of for years. Now the White House just full of trash. Trash in the White House, trash on the White House lawn. I know it ain't shit but nets all up through the White House. Can't even barely walk through that motherfucker. They gonna have to fumigate the goddamn White House next time another president come up through there to take over. Michelle Obama's a beautiful black woman. And I know the Obamas got a lot of class. So they ain't gonna do no whole bunch of retaliation. But see, me, I know how to leave my class at the door. Because they could have been said something about Melania pee-popping on the handstand in the magazine. Ass naked. And this ain't me trying to slut shame. Because everybody know Melania was a pass around and she got passed to Donald Trump. Like a little call girl or some shit like that. And I ain't gonna keep talking about Melania because I know that's gotta suck. Jiggling old wrinkled up balls against your will just to make a living. And how trashy does it get you? Turn the front yard of the White House into a wrestling match. I wish they would have put Trump in the ring and let somebody kick on his ass. And see, Josh Hockey, I don't even know who he is. Apparently, UFC. I hope somebody knock the lights out of your ass the next time you fight. I don't even watch the MMA, but I'm gonna make sure I watch somebody beat his ass next time. They better get somebody good to whoop on his ass too. Just let me in the ring. I'll kick his ass my goddamn self.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Was this the point? Was this the point of the whole UFC backyard trailer trash brawl in front of the White House, to go after a black woman who has nothing to do with any of the events? That black woman ain't got shit to do with none of this, but yet y'all can sit there and still be racist and be trashy at the same fucking time. This is why I say, for any white person that says racism doesn't exist, there's your sign. Most educated first lady in history, because y'all forget that she's an Ivy League graduate ×2. A lawyer, a mother, a wife, an educator. Y'all will still find y'all a way to disrespect her.
I find that very interesting. They have so much to say about Michelle, but look at Melania. Like I said, I've said years ago. Okay, they know about Melania, but they want to act like she's so graceful and elegant, honey. Not only was she a porn model, but she was very close friends with Epstein, and Epstein claims to have had sex with her. Okay, why don't they talk about that? Racist devils. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. These people are wide out in the open, honey. Now, this guy went in on Trump. Okay, I want to show this video. I don't know who this man is, but he went in on Trump. And I'm all here for it. Talking about how Trump's destroying the economy and just basically, you know, dogging the same people that voted for him. And they're going to be crying soon. Some of them are already crying, having buyer's remorse.
I have never cared about politics in my whole life. What Trump is doing in the United States of America and the citizens is absolutely unacceptable. It won't affect me. I don't even give a shit. I'll be fine. But for the average American that has struggles every day, somebody in their family's sick, they're sick, they lost a job, they lost health care, Trump absolutely is pissing on the heads and in the face of every American. He has stolen more money and will steal more money by the time he gets out of office, more than every president in the last 250 years combined. Congress should fucking be held accountable, and Trump should be fucking thrown in jail. This is an absolute fucking sham. What he is doing to the United States and to the economy will never recover from it. The consequences will be felt for the next 50 years. He is digging us a hole so deep with his fucking corruption and his cronies' corruption and his lies and his bullshit. I cannot believe that we're fucking having to deal with this guy. I have never cared about what a president did, but this level of corruption is so over the top. I don't know how in the hell Congress is allowing this shit to happen. The guy's fucking making stock trades, and 3 days later, he's fucking spitting out the ticker symbol in speeches. It's fucking abhorrent. He's disgusting. He's despicable. The guy is a lying, cheating pig.
Okay, I'm sorry, no lies detected. Absolutely no lies detected as far as I'm concerned. And by the way, supposedly there's a deal with Iran. Now, you know that anything that Trump says we have to take with a grain of salt. But they're reporting that the United States and Iran have reached an agreement intended to end their recent war with formal signing scheduled for June the 19th. I'm not going to believe it until it's actually signed by Iran because we know how Trump lies. Okay, so they're supposed to formally sign it June the 19th in Switzerland. Okay, President Donald Trump announced the deal, which immediately authorized the lifting of the U.S. naval blockade and aims to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to global oil shipments. Okay, that's what they say. But we'll see. We'll see. They also say hostilities. Now, the deal lays the groundwork for ending the months-long conflict that began after a U.S. and Israeli strike killed Iran's supreme leader. Okay, the maritime access. Well, Trump ordered an end to the American naval blockade, and commercial ships have now resumed moving safely through the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, like I said, I believe when I see it. They said the next steps, the U.S. and Iran will have a 60-day period to resolve outstanding issues regarding Iran's enriched uranium stockpile. We'll see how that all pans out, like I said. Okay, so just a few more clips, and then we're going to get into this whole Karmelo thing, this whole situation. Like up, everyone, please don't forget to like and share.
What is a disgrace to Florida is black men showing up here and shooting other black people, intimidating white people, threatening our businesses and our tourism industry.
Now, I want you to pay attention how he's calling out black men. This is very bold, okay? The blatant racism of it all. He's calling out black men. Okay, then he wants to bring up black on black crime as if, you know, we know that's propaganda, as if nobody else is killing their own people. But the bottom line is for him to get up there and call out black men, what about white folk? They don't commit crimes. What about the Mexicans? So nobody commits crime but black people. You see, this is how they have successfully made the world think that we are inherently violent when everyone should know that it's them. Here's how they've done it. They've used the media and propaganda to spew this vitriol, to make us seem like we're so nefarious. You know, they don't report all the instances of crimes within the other communities, specifically theirs. Okay, they don't broadcast it all over the news. That's what they don't do. And then the good things that happen in the black community, like when we have community gatherings to try to figure out or try to to try to quell black on black crime or try to bring it down a notch, to try to get the thugs out of our communities. And we have those discussions. They don't ever broadcast those things. That's why you'll hear these racist people when we go in about the police killing a black person unarmed or some sort of racial issue like the Karmelo Anthony case. They'll say, oh, black people get so mad when some other race kills one of them, but they don't care anything about black on black crime. Okay, this is why they say that. Because they don't show the good of our community because they want to demonize us and vilify us, but also spew propaganda. And these people that are saying something about black on black crime, you don't think they know that there's white on white crime? Of course they do. Okay, he's not up there talking about serial killers and mass shooters and school shooters. Okay, the rapists, he's not talking about them. Okay, the white collar crimes that cost taxpayers billions of dollars yearly. He's not bringing up any of that. Oh, let's just talk about black men. Okay, but let's continue.
Don't get you where you're going.
But the truth does. And the truth is that black on black crime needs to end in the free state of Florida.
The truth is black on black crime is a myth propagated by racist white people in power. The truth is that if you're going to talk about crime and you're going to hold the highest office in the state of Florida, you should be educated. As many racist white people love to use the 13% of the population commit over 50% of the violent crime or the homicides. They cherry pick one crime statistic to fit their narrative the same way that they cherry pick one Dr. Martin Luther King quote to fit their narrative on Dr. Martin Luther King Day, and then they're racist the rest of the year. Black people are not inherently prone to violence. They aren't just born more violent or more criminal than white people. First and foremost, they've been forced to try to survive in a system that has systematically marginalized and oppressed them. A system built for white people by white people to target black people. And no, I'm not making excuses or making anybody perpetual victims. Yes, we can address violent crime in all communities. It has everything to do with proximity. Who are you closest to? Not anything to do with race. Race is not the deciding factor of why somebody is victimizing someone else. Black people and white people commit violence against people of their own race at the same rate. 13% of the U.S. population account for 53% of all known exonerations. Black Americans are estimated to be 7 times more likely than white Americans to be wrongly convicted of serious crimes. Innocent black defendants are approximately 7.5 times more likely to be wrongly convicted of murder. For drug crimes, black people are estimated to be 19 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted. 70% of those wrongful convictions are because of police misconduct. In Florida, James Fishback, is that we lead the nation in wrongful convictions and exonerations. We've had 30 since 1976. 33% of people on death row have been wrongfully convicted, have been exonerated. 17 of those 30, black people. 1 out of every 3 people sitting on death row in Florida have been proven to be innocent, James Fishback. 37% of people on death row are black people. All of this despite the U.S. Department of Justice proving that just in sheer numbers, the vast majority of violent crime in this country is by white people against other white people. 44% of all violent crimes committed by white people. 22.7% committed by black people. And we don't say white on white crime. You know what's a disgrace to Florida and America? Our racism.
I just saw that they granted that scumbag white supremacist who shot up that children's party, who premeditatively screamed racist, scummy shit, then went back to his home, put on body armor, got his assault rifle, came back and shot up a birthday party. I just heard that he got a $5,000 bond. Now, if that's not some backwards racist bullshit, I don't know what is. Even my lily white ass can recognize that that's some two-tier justice system bullshit right there. That man could have murdered a bunch of children, and the only reason he didn't is because he was a bad fucking shot. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This seems like our federal government is trying to goad us into a civil war. But I got bad news for you motherfuckers. You're in the fucking minority. You know, black, brown people, white people who aren't pieces of shit, we're the majority, you're the minority. You know, you people are fucking idiots. And this is disgusting. And it's got to stop right now, because I swear to God, this is untenable. You are trying. I think that the government is trying to create a civil war. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is not what we're about. You know, you don't like somebody? Fine. But keep it to your fucking self. Mind your own fucking business. The justice system should be equal. You know, a 35-year fucking sentence for a little kid for stabbing? Well, it should be the 35-year sentence for all little kids who stabbed then, you know? But it's not. It's two-tiered as hell. And it's so obvious now that it's like a slap in the face. Anybody can recognize this. It's got to stop. Have the day you wish for immigrants, because you probably are one.
He said, have the day you wish for immigrants, because you probably are one. You know, that's a good one, because actually Trump's wife is a whole immigrant, okay? And he has the nerve, okay? And matter of fact, his family's from Germany too. I mean, the audacity. But as to what he was saying about that guy, Jeffrey Tyler Kinzer, he absolutely did get a $5,000 bond. He's 36 years old, by the way, and he was released from the Lee County Jail in Georgia on a $5,000 bond following a shooting at a family gathering. How the hell is that? That was attempted murder. He went there to kill those people. Now, on Sunday, June 7th, Kinzer allegedly engaged in a verbal altercation involving racial slurs, returned wearing body armor, and armed with an AR-15 rifle to shoot at the gathering in Leesburg, Georgia. Now, mind you, I reported this to you all days ago when it first happened. But just a reminder that he went there to shoot those people and to kill them. Now, he ended up being shot. No one at the family gathering was injured. Thank God for that. Okay, and as a family member returned fire, it struck him. Remember, the veteran who was there? Okay, I forget his name, but he was interviewed by the news media. Yeah, that man shot him. Okay, too bad he didn't finish the job. Okay, community and family response. They say family members and community advocates have publicly demanded that the district attorney upgrade the charges. The Lee County Sheriff's Office has stated that additional charges are pending. Okay, so what are they doing? Investigate? What do you need to investigate? He had on body armor. He went there to those people's home. Okay, they had children there as well outside and started shooting at them. What more do you need? Okay, please pay attention. These people are so nefarious, and then they make all sorts of allowances for the devils amongst them. Okay, he had on body armor, but he still got injured. Okay, and that's why it probably wasn't serious, because of his armor. Let me tell you something. This country is going to hell in a handbasket, all thanks to Trump. Okay, please pay attention. Now, one source says the video shown to the jury at the Mello trial is not the real video of the incident. I know. I said that, beloved. I absolutely did. Thank you for sharing, but I absolutely said that because someone who was there reported it. They said they saw the grainy video, and then the jury saw something else. But nobody saw the actual video, supposedly the video that's more than 11 minutes long. Okay, and I think that they possibly have destroyed that video at this point. Okay, we're going to get into this Karmelo thing in just a second. Hold on. Gregory says, Queen, can they sue? Well, of course they can. You can sue for anything in the United States, but what would they sue for? Well, probably, I would think, punitive damages. Okay, because first of all, those children are likely going to be traumatized. They may need therapy. Okay, and even if they didn't, I'd say they did. Okay, I would absolutely sue. Okay, I would absolutely sue because at the end of the day, he should have more serious charges. Okay, he should have more serious charges. And the reason I say that he should have punitive damages, okay, instead of compensatory is because basically that means that there was well, that's aimed at some sort of punishment because it could cause, damages like trauma. Basically, people having nightmares. It could have, and it's also done by someone while they're engaged in malicious and reckless behavior. Okay, malicious and reckless behavior. So yes, absolutely, they should sue, and that's a good idea because I didn't even think about that. That's exactly what they should do. Okay, they need to sue his arse. And he was one of their neighbors. He's probably been hating on them the whole time, clearly. Okay, clearly hating on them. Now, let me just tell you all this. If you're wondering why he decided to shoot up their house when they were having this cookout, I'm pretty sure it's because people like him, they hate to see Black people having a good time. Remember how I've told you all before that some of these racist devils, not some, all of the racist devils, they cannot stand to see Black people enjoying themselves, living life. Okay, they can't stand to see it. That's why they harass you. They'll call the police on you and file false reports if you're having a cookout at the park, you're having a barbecue or whatever, or if you come to the pool, they want to police you and ask you, do you have a key card to be there? Do you live in this area? What are you doing here? This is why they do these things when they see Black people having a good time. Okay, this is what they do. Just like I told you all yesterday, I wanted to show you all that video, but I forgot. But I forgot to upload it, I think, but just the other day, this Black family was at a water park or some sort of amusement park, and they had a fast access pass. That means they can skip the line and go straight to the front. This white man would not let them go. He was like holding his arms out, holding on to stuff, swaying back and forth to just purposely stop them from getting up there to the front. And they had some of their friends or family that was already up there. This is what devils do. Okay, this is what devils do. And have you ever noticed, I'm sure you have, that when you're somewhere in a public space, like if you're just walking through the grocery store or coming across a parking lot, if they're walking in your straight line of direction, they will not move. They expect you to move and for you to step to the side, but I never step to the side. And I taught my sons to never step to the side. We're going to play chicken. Okay, y'all know the game of chicken where they tie your shoestring or they don't tie your shoestring, but they did this in a movie. But they're driving two tractors dead at each other. And then the one that gets scared the first has to pull over, and that's who loses. And in that movie with Kevin Bacon, I think it was Footloose, they actually tied his shoestring, okay, to the gas pedal so he couldn't stop. But the point is, they will sit there and keep walking in your direction, expecting you to step to the side to let them through. It's just like in Jim Crow when our ancestors weren't allowed to look them in the eyes, okay? Or they would get punished for that. They call it eyeballing. Hey, boy, why don't be eyeballing me? That kind of stuff. They still do those things to this day. So nothing has changed. And for all the people who want to lie to themselves and say that, oh, we've taken so many steps forward. No, we haven't. We're still stuck in Jim Crow. Nothing has changed. What has changed? People are still being lynched. We're still finding Black people swinging from trees. They're still getting all white juries to convict innocent Black people. What in the hell has changed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You see, Trump isn't really going to take us back to Jim Crow like I said initially. We're already there and we've always been there. The only thing that Trump is doing is now he's trying to make sure that we can't complain about it, because now he wants to take away freedom of speech. And the people that they deem as dissenters, which would include people like me who speak out against the government and their BS and the war against Iran and all other manner of foolery that they engage in, well, they'll plan to shut us up one way or another, because if you keep talking, they're going to make us into domestic terrorists. And I told you all that about 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, so please pay attention. Now let's continue.
So here's the entire plot.
And let me say this, just for clarification. What I mean is they're going to start deeming us as domestic terrorists if we don't stop speaking against their narrative and agenda. It's the same thing that happens over in China, okay, with the communist regime. That's what they're bringing here. The social credit reporting system, like I told you all. At the end of the day, they're going to start punishing people. But it's interesting that they'll want to shut us up, okay, and they'll want to label us as terrorists. But they didn't do that to the people that caused that insurrection at the Capitol. I'm sorry, at the Capitol, and those same people who tried to overthrow their own governments for all the wrong reasons. Okay, those people were freed, and now Trump wants to give them billions of dollars. Okay, so that's how that works. But they act like this country isn't built on racism and a system of wanton supremacy. And they say that we're playing the victims. We don't have to play the victims. We've always been the victims in this country since 1492. Okay, but let's continue.
Very, very wealthy white men read the financiers, the tech bros, and the business men, the white ones, all of them. Their plan is to be in charge of the entire world and to have all other people at their service. As ridiculous as that sounds, that's it. What they want are two classes. Forget democracy, it isn't working for them. Two classes of people. Them, the very white, wealthy ones, call them the Epstein class, if you will, touched by God to be the chosen ones. And then there's the workers. Them and the workers. No middle class, no upper class, no lower middle class. There's only the serfs and the kings, the serfs and the lords. And that's their plan. How do they get to that plan? It's simple. It's a bunch of steps, and they're doing them right now all at once. And it goes like this. Oh, wait. Aside from the serfs, the men, to serve them, they want the women to service them. All women, no matter what age.
Like I told you all, this is about to turn into the Handmaid's Tale. I've been telling you all that for a year now.
Here are the steps that are already in play. 1, lower wage, get rid of useless people. Get rid of useless people. Who are the useless people to them? They are the old, the disabled, the sick, the cut all aid, for instance, to children with disabilities, cut all aid to seniors, cut all aid, and cut all aids to groups that aren't going to serve you, like LGBTQ. So cut all services. Cut, as far as you can, all nonprofits that serve these groups. Attack those nonprofits. Get rid of every institution that might protect all of these classes of people who do not serve these rich people. So get rid of the press, get rid of Congress, get rid of the courts, get rid of advocacy group, get rid of nonprofits. All of those are underway. 3, get women reproducing, because there's going to be a shortage of those white men serving them and black men serving them. There's going to be a shortage of them. So there's a shortage worldwide of new babies, by the way, if you didn't know. So you got to get women reproducing. So first, of course, no abortion. Second, no birth control. 3, get them out of the workplace, get them out of graduate schools, get them into the house reproducing. That's the role for women in this society. Reproduce. Next, destroy public education. They're well on their way to destroying public education by ignoring, for instance, the difference between church and state, so that private institutions that serve the children of wealthy people are benefiting, and the attacks on public education have been relentless and quite successful. And finally, lower wages for everyone and raise taxes for everyone but themselves. For themselves, it's higher rewards and lower taxes. That's it. It's a many portion review of many portions, steps, all of which are happening in real time. The goal, 2 classes, very, 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 very wealthy, very, 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 very poor. Trump, he's just the clown in charge that can rile up the troops. He's the idiot in charge.
Yeah, he absolutely is. No lies.
Hegseth has decided to remove the first black 4-star U.S. general's portrait from the Pentagon because of DEI, leaving the wall blank. His name is General Daniel Chappie James Jr. He's an immensely revered figure in U.S. military history, celebrated far beyond any modern political policy. He was a Tuskegee Airman who became the first black 4-star general across all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces in 1975. He flew 179 combat missions across major conflicts, specifically the Korean War and the Vietnam War. Known as a fierce patriot, he later commanded the North American Air Defense Command. He was historically praised by leadership on both sides of the political aisle, from Ronald Reagan to modern governors. But after Donald Trump signed executive orders targeting DEI programs across the federal government and military, a long-standing portrait of General James was taken down from its prominent display in the Air Force Art Gallery inside the Pentagon. According to Pentagon officials, no other artwork has replaced the portrait. The space has been left blank, leading staff to interpret the move as a politically motivated effort to de-emphasize prominent black military historical figures. The acting press secretary for the Department of Defense said this portrait was not discarded, but rather relocated. However, the department provided no specific details on where the portrait was even moved, nor did they clarify if its new location held equal prominence.
Okay, so if I were black people in the military, I would just get out. Okay, I would just get out, because at this point, they're just using black people. That's what they've always done, really, historically. They're just using black people. At the end of the day, they would put black people on the front lines, the Buffalo Soldiers specifically. And now, Keg's Breath, okay, that's what I call him. Keg's Breath is sitting up here trying to block promotions for black people in the military. Okay, and then trying to, take their ranks and all sorts of things just because he's a racist devil. So if I were black people, I wouldn't even want to be in the military. And let's not forget that moment in time when they executed about 300 black men that were in the military. Did you all know that? Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on here. It says 110, not 300. But listen, this happened in 1917. Okay, now I find it interesting because some reports say that it was 19. Okay, that it was only 19. Okay, U.S. Army overturns convictions of 110 black soldiers in the 1917 Camp Logan Rebellion to redress the unfair trials that resulted in the execution of 19. This is a whole lot more than 19 people. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Or maybe it was 19, but I saw a report somewhere it was 300. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. But nonetheless, even if it was one, somebody that's black who fought in this country that never, there they go right there. Someone that's black that fought in this country that never gave a darn about people who look like them. Okay, and then for them to just be their lives taken. On November the 13th of 2023, officials announced that the U.S. Army had overturned the convictions of 110 black soldiers of the 3rd Battalion, 24th Infantry Regiment, okay, who were charged with mutiny in connection with racial violence that occurred during the 1917 Camp Logan Rebellion. Okay, 19 black soldiers were hanged following the court-martial ruling on December 11th of 1917, which was the largest execution of military soldiers in history. Now, in her statement, Secretary of the Army, Christine Wormuth, stated, "These soldiers were wrongly treated because of their race and were not given fair trials." During the Jim Crow era, the black soldiers of the 24th Infantry Regiment were continuously harassed by racist police and white locals while stationed at Camp Logan, a military training camp in Houston. Now, on August 23rd of 1917, Corporal Charles Baltimore was beaten and shot by police after interfering in the arrest of a black woman. Okay, now in response to this incident, mind you, they were beating a black woman, okay, not just arresting her peacefully. Okay, so in response to this incident, black soldiers marched in protest into Houston, which resulted in a violent confrontation with a white mob. Now, in a recent article in The Defender, journalist Aswad Walker reported to Gabe Karmelo, the 35th Under Secretary of the Army, acknowledged the wrongs of the racially biased ruling by granting honorable discharges to the black soldiers during the ceremony held at the Buffalo Soldiers National Museum. Okay, y'all hear this? This happened in 1917, though. Now, all these years later, that's what they want to do. It's just like when they killed George Stinney, who didn't do anything, 14-year-old innocent black boy. Okay, then they want to exonerate him 70 years later. Now, Karmelo also established a plan to provide benefits to the survivors' families through a partnership with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Attorney Jason Holt, a descendant of PFC, which is private, I guess, Private Thomas Hawkins, stated, "Today a mortal blow has been dealt to the injustice of the master-slave relationship, okay, such that 106 years later, the color of their skin was not a barrier to fair dispensation of military jurisprudence, and we all here rejoice that their convictions were overturned and set aside." Please, rejoice for what? Do y'all hear this? Rejoice for what? Okay, I don't see any reason to be rejoicing. Like, this is what they do, though. This is what they do. It's all so nefarious at the end of the day. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, we're going to talk about this whole thing with Carmelo Anthony, because Charleston White is very despicable. I'm not sure why the black community has not canceled him thus far, because he definitely needs to be canceled. Now, I actually saw some stupid woman, that same stupid woman who was trying to tell us not to boycott or trying to discourage us from boycotting because she didn't want to boycott the Asians. Yeah, that same stupid woman was saying, so what y'all gonna do now? Y'all gonna boycott Charleston White? I think he's telling the truth. What reason does he have to lie? Well, he has a whole lot of reasons to lie. Because 1, he's a liar. Okay, for 2, clout chasing, and 3, for money. Now, here's the thing. I told someone yesterday, I think I even told you all on the live when I talked about Charleston White and the lowdown things that he said about Carmelo's father and family. He was acting like the father's only concerned about money. Well, he has a right to ask about money that's being donated in the name of his son. Okay, he has a right to ask about it, but the bottom line is not only that, I told you all, if I'm not mistaken, that Charleston White is the one who wants the money. That's what I felt like. Charleston White was the one who was more so concerned about money. And he lied and said he was going to donate that $75,000. He was never going to. Okay, I don't believe a word he says. But now he's done something even more nefarious. And this further proves that he absolutely is all about money. Okay, it's all about money. Now, we're going to get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, Truth Brown says ban Charleston White. We all should. Why are we still dealing with this idiot? Okay, this clout-chasing idiot. Let's get into it.
Situation take place in our city recently, and a life was lost, and another life was sent away to prison for over 3 decades. And it's dividing the city, and all that's just stupid to me, to be honest with you. Keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is we got to cover our young people. Hello, somebody. We have to cover them, and we have to teach them about self-control. Hello, somebody. If there was an element of self-control in that whole equation, on both sides of it, turning the other cheek, self-control, if there was the element of that, it's quite possible we wouldn't be here in this situation. So sometimes we make it a big thing, and listen, I'm not telling you how to feel, but I am saying I'm a solutions person. We can whine and complain all day long. I'm looking at that saying, hey, what can be different? And something so obvious comes out of it to me: self-control. Keep your hands to yourself. Use your words responsibly. Hello, somebody. Don't be overcome with evil. Overcome evil with good. Stay in control. And I've been preaching that all year. That this season in the world is going to necessitate emotional regulation. Because there's going to be a lot of things to argue about, a lot of things to get upset about. And here's what the Bible says. The Bible says, he who doesn't rule his own spirit. Come on, family. The person who doesn't rule his own spirit is like a city whose walls are broken down. There's no protection. There's no safety. There's no strategy. And bad things happen as a result of it. So I want to pray for the men. I want to pray for the young men, and I am going to set up, and you'll hear about it because I want to make certain that we have maximum participation. I'm going to find it a good time, but I want to talk to young people. I want to talk to them about self-control, emotional regulation, right? Respect, mutual respect, love, and de-escalation. Come on, somebody. De-escalation. So let's be in prayer for that. Let's be in prayer for a lot of things. And family, please, as kingdom citizens, be angry but do not sin.
What coward babble.
Don't sin. I'll just take this liberty. Jesus said, the scriptures say, be angry and sin not. Two things can be true and can exist. You can be emotional, but when your emotions cause you to sin, that's a problem. The word sin literally means, that word in that context means to miss the mark. So we have to move with precision. And if you go, watch this, if you go straight from emotion to action, you cannot move with precision.
I've heard enough of him. Let's continue. Okay, he needs to sit down somewhere. And see, this is the problem with pastors like him. Still stuck on that old turn the other cheek BS. Okay, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to turn the other cheek. You put your hands on me, I'm going to put my hands on you. Okay, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Like, miss me with it.
Never heal from this. You would look at me wrong, wouldn't you? I'd be wrong for saying that, huh? Why? Because you feel that a life was taken. But here's the thing that you're missing. It's not just that a life was taken, because it's not just any life. a white life was taken. This is Quaker white American culture. You need blood. You can't sit here and tell me that privilege does not exist. We can't even utilize fear for our life. We can't even utilize self-defense. Now check this out. This is not a step in the right direction. No, this is a step in the white direction. You don't think that these recent situations in the news is the underlay for the overplay? Karmelo Anthony's family will have to feel the injustice of two families raising their sons completely different, because one raised their son to stand up for himself, defend himself, protect himself, and to never cower. And then the other family raised their son to be a goddamn bully, raised their son to feel privileged, and really just raised a racist. Listen to y'all out there. Y'all exposing your own racism, talking about Karmelo Anthony was somewhere that he had no business being. That is Quaker white old country American history. As if that tent was some secured environment. You at a track meet, a public event, telling Karmelo that he has no business being there. That sounds like, boy, you're not supposed to be walking on this sidewalk. Boy, you don't belong drinking this water. Boy, you don't belong in this building. That's exactly what that sounds like. So believe me when I tell you, that family is not hurt. They are in there bombing that N-word from wall to wall. For them, Austin was a hero. For them, white people took a victory. That's what it was.
No lies detected.
Every witness who saw the stabbing said that Karmelo was sitting on the bleachers and that Metcalf was standing up and pushing him. Anthony never got out of his seat. And not only that, the wound and the blade prove that he did not even try to stab him. He just held it out and Austin went on the blade. You know how I know this? Because the blade itself is 3.5 inches long. Everyone said that Austin leaned in to push him and Karmelo stabbed him. There's no dispute about that. Anthony was sitting, Austin was standing over him, getting ready to shove him, and he goes into the blade. So if the blade was 3.5 inches and the wound was 2 inches deep, people, what does that mean? It means he could not have stabbed at him as Austin was leaning in to shove him. Austin had to have been the one who fell on the blade. I'm sorry, but it seems pretty obvious to me. Like, this is self-defense. How could Anthony be the aggressor if he never fucking moved from his seat? That is literally stand your ground. And all of this could have been avoided if he had just minded his own business or gotten his coach. And the prosecutor kind of proves my point when he asked the doctor if there were any defensive wounds on Austin, and there were none. He already had his hands out to push him. He crossed that physical boundary and fell on that knife. There is never a situation when a person is sitting down and a person is standing up, physically impeding you, that person is not the aggressor. And if this was the opposite, this wouldn't have even been a trial. I have a feeling the defense is going to tell us that there is a documented history of aggression with Austin. Let's face it, the prosecution is resting on racism in this case. That's exactly why they struck all of the black jurors. They are just hoping that they will just gloss over all the inconsistencies in this story, because not a single person out of the 9 witnesses that were there had a consistent story. And that's what the media is not telling you.
And that's exactly what they weren't telling us. And thank God that Nika Knight and Queen Sheba Darling went down there to see for themselves and bring us back the information. Because the media was only reporting one side of it. And that was the prosecution side to make it look all good. They never said anything, that was unfavorable for the prosecution. They never talked about how the witnesses all lied, how they all told conflicting stories, how they contradicted themselves, specifically how Eddie got up there and told a myriad of lies, got called out. They didn't talk about any of that because they wanted to paint and push their narrative. Now, what she said about him falling on the knife, well, we did talk about that last night for those of you that saw that video. At the end of the day, I don't think that Karmelo was sitting down because people have said that they were all fighting. They said when he shoved Karmelo so hard that he fell back on Dustin, and then Karmelo hit him, and then they all started fighting Karmelo. Okay, that's what at least one of the people who saw the video said. And they also said he tried to get him in a headlock. So I think that's when he was stabbed, okay, or fell on the knife, because he could have absolutely fallen on it. Who knows? But it wasn't a deep stab. We talked about that last night. Okay, so now let's continue, because Charleston White is a low down, dirty dog, and everybody in the black community needs to ban him. We need to shun him. Okay, nobody needs to be paying him to come on their platforms. None of us need to be going to his shows. Nobody needs to really have anything else to do with him after this.
To all my Charleston white fans, and I guess anybody else who's just wondering where he stands on this whole Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf ordeal, this is your boy. I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm going to let you see for yourself. And let me go ahead and give you a trigger warning off the rip. You going to need it.
Oh, make sure you get those shirts.
$2,000. Withdraw instantly to your account. No ads, no top-ups, no withdrawal limits. Girls, come on, download and play now.
I have a massive bowl of spaghetti.
Nah, gang, I ain't rocking with this. The shirts are already selling, boy. Who give a fuck if you rocking with it? You're poor. I'm already making money off the boy's ass. I'm already making money off the boy, so I don't give a fuck if you rocking with it. Guess who's gonna rock with it? The Metcalf family and all the other white people that gave him the name Watermelon. So I'm just making money, big dog. Or are you still helping Mello or no? Fuck no, I'm not.
Now, let me tell you all something. Hold on.
And y'all stand with this guy. And look, I got another post I'm going to put up too, but I couldn't put them together because this other one is even worse than that. And it's probably going to get flagged.
That one's going to have to be edited. But let me just tell you all this. There are some black people that are still trying to defend him. I was reading the comments where people were saying, oh, that's AI. That's not really Charleston White. I said, you're an idiot. Okay, that's absolutely him. It's posted on his Instagram. And how do you not know the difference between AI and reality? Okay, all you have to do is pay attention to how the sound of the person's voice sounds robotic usually. Okay, their fingers will be disfigured, their hands and things. So anyway, with that all being said, it's absolutely him. He has it on his Instagram. So this is how you know that he was the one about money. Talking about he's going to donate $75,000. He was never going to. He was using this family as a cash cow. And also, let me just say this. I believe, now I can't prove this, but I want you all to pay attention. Okay. Here's what I believe. I believe that Charleston White, if you remember, he was so down with Team Metcalf in the first place and dragging Karmelo Anthony, called him thugs and all kinds of stuff. And then later, all of a sudden, he switched his routine and got with the Anthonys and then started going against the Metcalfs. I think that was all part of the plan. I think that he was sent because we already know he's an agent. Charleston White has said himself that he works with the police and the feds. He has said that out of his own mouth, how he's called the police on people. Okay, if you all remember the story he told about the black guys outside in his neighborhood with a Escalade, and he called the police on them because he knew if it's these many Negroes outside of his house or in his neighborhood, they must be up to something. Okay, do y'all remember that? He called the police, and at least one of them got arrested. Okay, so I'm just saying this man's a whole agent. So what I think possibly happened is that when he was dealing with the Metcalfs, they may have coerced him or gotten him, maybe they paid him, who knows, but gotten him to go over there to be acting like he's with the Anthony family so he can get information and then go back and give it to them. Now, this man knows all of their appeals process and everything that they're supposed to be going through. He may know even who the lawyers are that they've hired for the appeals process. I mean, at the end of the day, this man is very dangerous, okay, is what I'm saying. He's very dangerous. This man, Charleston White, is the epitome of the people who in slavery, that when Harriet Tubman was freeing the slaves through the Underground Railroad, the people that she had to shoot that turned around and tried to go back, okay? He's a turncoat, just like those people. He's one of the people that when black people were trying to escape the plantation, he would go run and tell Massa, they's out there planning. They say they're going to leave at sundown or they're going to leave at midnight. That's him. That's who he is. He is not a friend of the black community. All he cares about is enriching himself. And if anybody wants to sit there and cape for this idiot, then you are no better than he is, as far as I'm concerned. The nerve of people sitting there trying to pretend that it was AI. They knew that was him. They're not that stupid, I would hope. Okay? They knew that was really him. Also egregious. But let's continue. Because here's the thing that I just found out. So there is a guy, and I believe it's that same lawyer, Tony King or T King, whatever his name was, that was there when they were talking about the video. Well, he now has come out with some bombshell news. He says that Fox 4 News posted something about the Karmelo Anthony situation, and then they took their report down, and nobody has seen it since. Okay, let's get into it. That's what I found out just before I got on the live. I just happened to come across this video. Now listen to this.
Justice, politics, motorsports, things of that nature. And my folks, my, how the complexion could be changing. So this is a story that someone I know on Facebook sent me this from, a chat line. And Cynthia Carpenter stated to Racici and Burleson, it looks like, that's what Fox 4 responded as ambulance was leaving the track field. The two boys and Hunter said that the Karmelo picked up the tool they used to put their tents up with after his brother Austin punched him in the face. Fox News heard.
Let's stop right there. They said that Karmelo Anthony picked up the object that they used to put the tents up after after Austin's brother punched him in the face. That's very interesting because in the beginning, I told you all that Quanell X has spoken to witnesses who were there and said that they told him that it was a tent knife, that it was the same knife that you used to put up the tents. He said that from day one. Now here we come full circle back to what the initial story was. So you can see how it has changed drastically, how the devils have painted this whole entire fictitious story and narrative out there. Well, let's continue. I'm going to scroll it back just a little bit.
They used to put their tents up with after his brother Austin punched him in the face.
I'm sorry, Austin punched him in the face, not Hunter.
Fox News hurried up and took down that local live breaking news story. We Dallas folks have not seen that video no more. That's what the two boys said, and Hunter was crying and said, I stand by my brother even if he was wrong. They can't take that away from us Dallas residents. We haven't forgotten that. People, please, anybody who has seen this, we need you to come forward. And I mean like now, okay? And, it's the same missing video that they're pulling on us, with regard to the whole incident, right? When is the last time, like I said, my other bike video, when's the last time you've seen the media withhold or keep from the public a video that was inculpatory of black people? Sure, right? When I got indicted, it was complete bullshit and I beat it. They ran, I did voir dire when I was in the NAACP legal chair. It was complete bullshit, right? I went through voir dire.
I find that absolutely egregious. Okay, now here's the thing though. I started reading the comments in his video and here's what someone said. Here's what someone said. We all saw it, bro. We told that to all these fake people like Tiffany McAdoo Billions that only wanted to grift off Karmelo. Tiffany knew this was the narrative. They all got paid to railroad him. Okay, they all got paid to railroad Karmelo. Do y'all hear this? Absolutely egregious. I've been saying this all along. No one is showing the weapon because it was Austin's weapon. Now, didn't I tell you all just the other day that they were saying that those boys had a knife? They were saying that, and I didn't know if it was just rumors or whatever, but they were saying that the other day, that those boys had a knife. Okay? I find it interesting, and they say that one of them, I think they said Hunter, it could have been Austin, I'm not sure, but they said one of them carried that knife all the time. They carried something like that on their belt or something like that all the time. So I just find it very interesting. I mean, the truth is coming out slowly but surely. These people are so low vibrational. And let me just tell you all something too. The fact that they had Karmelo sentenced on the same day as the verdict, he didn't get to go home or any of those things, and then they immediately shipped him off to prison. It didn't take a week. It didn't take 2 weeks. It sent him off immediately. You see, I believe that they did that because They wanted to get him in the system real quick before the truth started coming out. Because you see, once they put you in the system, it can take years to get you out, even if you didn't do anything wrong. Even if there's information that surfaces that could possibly exonerate you. Okay, it could still take a while. And so they hurried up and got him shoved into the system. That's what they did. Okay, 30 days. And 30 days, if he was still sitting in jail and all this stuff's coming out. Okay, and mind you, also they know that in the state of Texas, if you want to file an appeal based off of inadequate counsel, you have to do it within 30 days. So they hurried up and sent him off. I want y'all to pay attention. The devils are so slick. At least they think they are. They're really not as slick as they thought.
I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all people who look like me or have my skin tone, and y'all are speaking on this Karmelo Anthony situation, and y'all are sending so much hate and negativity his way. Bitch, is your mother white? Or was you raised by a house nigga? Like, Will, are you okay? Are you good? I've seen too many people, especially niggas with big accounts on this bitch, fix their motherfucking mouth to like laugh at this situation or like, that's what he get and this and that and and if this was my son, shut your bitch ass up. If it was your son wouldn't have got justice. If it was your son would, especially if it was the other way around, if it was your son, the nigga would have walked off on it. It would have been okay. That white boy would have killed your son and nothing would have happened. Y'all sound like house niggas or the fucking kids raised by house niggas. Y'all pathetic. I don't like that shit at all. I swear to God, I don't. I don't know how niggas got large platforms and y'all speaking like this. Like, again, bitch, and some of y'all do look like y'all moms are white. Some of y'all look like, especially that one nigga with the fucking grills and shit, to be talking dumb shit out his mouth. You was too happy to get on here and speak to some shit, my nigga. You a weird ass nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all people who look like me or have my skin tone, and y'all are.
One source says, when we carry, it's a problem, but when the Cub Master teach your white kids to carry, it's all good. Yeah, because they say that's the same tool that's used by the Cub Scouts. That's what they said. I find it all interesting. Charleston White is so low down. I mean, he took it to a whole new level of low, okay? I would never thought he would do anything that sick.
And stabbed to death 20 years ago. So naturally, people ask how I feel about Karmelo Anthony. 35 years, and my answer might make some people uncomfortable. I don't see a monster. I see a kid who was scared. My brother was jumped, he was stabbed to death, and he was the one being attacked, and he didn't have a thing in his hands to stop it. Now, I have spent the last 20 years asking a question that I can't put down. What if my brother had a knife that night? Would he be alive? Would he have been the one who walked away because he protected himself? And if he had, would they have called him a murderer? Would they have given him 35 years? And that's what I see in Karmelo, a kid who was being jumped, a kid who was being antagonized, a scared kid who reached for the only thing that meant he might make it home. He lived, and living got him 35 years. And that's a sentence I don't believe that his white peers would get in that same state. See, the boy who killed my brother is a grown man now. He was 17 when he did it, and he didn't get arrested for 17 years. For 17 years, he knew what he did, and he never came forward. And yet, he was charged as a youth. And we're still waiting on sentencing. In fact, it's going to happen this Monday. And we're not sure if he will be sentenced as an adult or as a youth. Meanwhile, Karmelo in the state of Texas was 17 years old, clearly was trying to defend himself. I have a real problem with the idea that he was charged with murder because he had a knife on him. I know what it's like to lose somebody to violence. And I also know what it is to watch the system decide whose fear counts. But what I don't know firsthand is how that feels as a Black person in America. You're guilty before you even get a chance to defend yourself. What was he supposed to do? What if they had a knife and they tried to kill him? He was obviously terrified. He can't walk away because Cyrus tried that. Didn't work for him very well, did it? They can't defend themselves because 35 years for a child who was trying to protect himself? We need to have broader conversations. Karmelo was a terrified kid, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise.
Well, and that's exactly how the system works, the way they want it to work. Okay, it's not broken. That's just the way it goes. One source says, Queen, when I was 15, I had a fight with my bully. He was white and 6'1" at the time. I'm 5'7". I whooped him, and then he called the cops on me, and I got arrested. Yeah, that's how it goes, beloved. That's absolutely how it goes. Okay, that's exactly how it goes. I mean, we've seen Black people call the cops for help, and the cops lock them up when they are the ones that called for help. But if you get into it with a white person and you come out on top, yeah, the cops absolutely will arrest you as though you were the one who started the whole thing. Okay? And sometimes, like I said, even if you call them after the incident happens, they'll still lock you up by the time the white person gets done talking. If you all remember that story years ago, I think it was maybe 2018, when the Black mother called the police on the white man who was at her neighbor's house doing some work, and he grabbed her son around the throat and choked him. And the son came in the house and told her, this kid was only 7 years old. The son came in the house and told her. She goes out and confronts him, asks him why he did it. He says because the son dropped trash on the ground. He was littering. So that's what you do. You didn't come knock on the door and tell his mom, hey, look, your son just threw trash on the ground. You didn't do that. Because that's what you could have done. But you put hands on somebody else's child. Okay, so she called the police. The police get there and tell her to her face when they say, well, why do you think he did it? She said, he claims my son littered. The police said, well, maybe you should teach your son not to litter. That's what he said. And then she got smart with him, of course, because that ticked her off. I'm the one that told you, you're supposed to be here to help me with him, not the other way around. And so then she gets to a back and forth, and the cop ends up arresting her and her daughter, who was about 15, after he brutalized them. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. But after public outrage, then they went and arrested the devil who choked the kid in the first place, which is what he should have done. Okay, and that cop, I'm sure he wasn't fired. But that's the way it goes. Okay, please pay attention. Now, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
In their response on, oh, it was just a push. Yeah, you shouldn't have touched him, but you don't respond to a push like that. All you gotta do is you push him back. And the worst one is when they're like, yeah, see, back in my day, we just put hands on him. That's what we did. So we talking about people from the same era I'm from. And I can 100% promise you that it was some fighting, yeah, but there was a whole lot of pew. There are times I remember like fighting early in the morning and then running home from school and things flying across my head. So let's be very clear. This whole notion that back in my day, all we did, we ain't never do. No, sir, we ain't gonna do it. So a lot of people are saying that, well, he should have just did that. And I get what you're saying, right? And in the way that you're thinking about it, if you one of those people who said, well, he should have just did something else instead of poker. And I get what you're saying, but I want to give you a scenario right quick to make you understand why I feel like he was justified in using force. Not to say that I don't feel for Metcalf family. I would be heartbroken if it was my son, and maybe if it was my son, I would be saying something different. But I'm just telling you the way that I look at this case now, and the way I look at this case is, I think it was self-defense. All right, let me give you a scenario. I'm 6'3", 285, 225. All right, I'm 6'3", 285. Former heavyweight champion. See how I threw that in there? All right. let's say you at the corner store getting gas. For whatever reason. This is Texas. I'm making the assumption that everybody here open carries, because that's what we do here. This is Texas. And out the blue, I walk my big ass over. I'm on the other side of you, and I start screaming wolf tickets at you. Get the fuck out of here! This ain't your motherfucking hood, right? And you like, what the fuck? Right? And then I said, you don't get the fuck out of this goddamn hood, I'm gonna beat your ass. And this is what I'm assuming is happening with Metcalf, because you can't make me believe. I don't give a fuck how many witnesses lied on their stand and said that Metcalf said you need to leave the tent, and Melo responded with touch me and see what happens. That shit don't add up. That shit is a lie. I don't give a damn how many witnesses lie on the stand. That shit was coerced. All right. Anyway, and I tell you, you better get the fuck out of my hood. I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass. Right? I'm me. You. This is Texas. You got your heat on you. Now, I'm on the other side where my car is and you where your car is. I go from where my car is, you pumping gas. I go from where my car is to where your car is. And I push you hard. Now you thinking to yourself, I don't even know this man. This man is absolutely huge. And you got your heat on you. Think about it. Do you respond the same way that I pushed you? Or do you be like, damn, I'm gonna go ahead and use this thing, because you don't know what I can do. You don't know if you can beat me or not beat me, right? What happens if I push you and then I follow up with the right hand? Look, if I hit you with a clean right hand, you gone. You going to sleep. So is that what you have to allow yourself to go through before you defend yourself? Oh, well, you just a push, yeah, right. And all I did was push you, but you don't know what was coming next. So let me give you the situation that the way my understanding of what happened. All I did was push. Karmelo was in the tent, but you don't know what was. There was another kid that he did know. Some other kids that he did not know that were on the other team. Keep in mind, that's the key word, on the other team. One kid twice his size tells him to leave. He doesn't have any legal reason to leave. Maybe some school rules and school etiquette, quote unquote, which is mean it's not a rule, it's just etiquette, right? It's like etiquette is you don't put your elbows on the table, but you're not gonna go to jail for it. That's etiquette. That's the difference between etiquette and law, right? Anyway, so now again, Karmelo is one kid. There's a team full of people, and one kid, to my understanding, I'm not sure if this is true, Metcalf is 2 flights down from where he's at and telling him to leave. Now, you're not going to make me believe that he told him to leave and Karmelo said, touch me and see what happens. That is an outright fucking lie. It didn't happen. I don't care how many times you tell me it happened. They said it. Oh, I don't give a fuck what they said. That shit don't make sense. The man had a 3.7 GPA. That's not the way he would talk. Anyway, now, Metcalf is 2 flights down from him, right? Now, he gets up from where he's at and comes into the physical space of Karmelo. Now keep in mind that, again, remember there's multiple people there on the same team. Karmelo is only there by himself. His twin brother is right there. So I want you to think about the mindset that was really going on. Okay? So the mindset was like, well, shit, I'm here by myself. All these people here. This dude's telling me he's gonna touch me, he's gonna beat my ass, he's gonna get me out of here, whatever the case may be. But if this dude touches me, there's a good chance that this dude gonna touch me, and that dude gonna touch me, and that dude gonna touch me, right? So once Metcalf pushed him, it wasn't like Metcalf just pushed him and then walked off. That wasn't what happened. He was poked in his chest, which means that when he pushed him, he was directly in front of him, directly in front of his face, which is a very intimidating place to be, right? Because if I wanted to intimidate somebody, I would get directly in front of them and I would show them how big I am. Right, and what I can do to them. That's intimidating. That's exactly what he tried to do. And again, my condolences to the Metcalf family. I'm just telling you this is the way I look at this situation. Okay? Now, keep in mind his twin brother is right there. There's other people there on the opposite team. So I don't know exactly what was said, but I can tell you what wasn't said. Touch me and see what happens is not a response you say to somebody telling you to leave. That's not how it went. That's bullshit. This whole nonsense of, oh, you ain't got nothing in that bag. That didn't happen. That did not happen. Karmelo with a 3.7 GPA didn't say, hey, I got something in my bag. And if he did, Texas state law says you have a right to do that. Texas state stand your ground statute in the law says that if you have something that could cause bodily harm, you have a right to tell a person, hey, look, don't do nothing to me because I got this here and you're going to get hurt. Read the law. That's what it says right there in the statute there. Okay? So people are saying, oh, it's just a push. Yes, it was just a push at that time, but what was coming next? What if you, look, what if he would have pushed Karmelo, Karmelo didn't have nothing, and then punched the shit out of Karmelo, and then Karmelo would have fell down the stairs and broke his fucking neck? See what I'm saying? You see how easy it is for you guys to say, oh, it was just a push. Yeah, it wasn't just a push. We don't know what it was because Karmelo didn't let it get anywhere else.
See how easy
And
it
this
is
is what kind of comes down to you got to keep your fucking hands to yourself. Now,
We don't
if
know
the
what it
two
was
had
because
agreed to fight,
See how easy it
Karmelo
is.
said, hey, man, you know, you want to fight, let's go fight, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Then, you know, physical.
Okay, so with that all being said, listen. He's absolutely right. Texas is a stand your ground state. You have no duty to retreat, according to them. Okay, so for these people that keep saying, oh, Karmelo could have just left. Yeah, he could have. And Austin could have just sat there and minded his own business. That's what he could have done. Okay, and kept his hands to himself while he was at it. Okay, so moderators, please look out for the trolls. I saw a couple of trolls in here. Okay. One of them said that they can't believe my nose isn't 3 feet long or whatever. Like I'm sitting up here lying. Well, honey, the truth is coming out. The only ones that are lying are MAGA. Okay, the defense attorney, the prosecutor, and the judge. Okay, those are the people that are lying, in my opinion. Now, with that all been said, listen, JR or Junior C says, add the Karmelo injustice to the list of many while we withhold our vote without a black crime bill, etc. That's what we're not going to do, beloved. We're not going to hold our votes. That's what we're not going to do. At least I'm not holding my vote for anybody, because here's why. At the end of the day, I want Trump and all of his minions to go to prison. And the only way they're going to go, or even stand a chance of going, is if they lose the midterms. Okay? So if you don't want Trump in jail, and if you think that these PDF file people that were in the Epstein list, okay, the Epstein class, if you think they should still be running government, then hold your vote. Okay, hold your vote or vote for them. But I'm not voting for them, and I'm not going to hold my vote. I want them out of there. Okay, the Democrats are nefarious as well, but at the end of the day, somebody has got to be in charge. And with that all being said, I damn sure don't want it to be a credibly alleged PDF file. Okay, that's what I don't want, because many of the Republicans were the ones in the Epstein files, not the Democrats. I did see Bill Clinton in there, but I'm just saying. And these people are so despicable. Look what they're doing. And everything they're doing. I absolutely not. Trump wants to take away birthright citizenship. He wants to have citizens deported. That includes us. So absolutely not. Look at Keg's breath. Blocking these military officers, 4-star generals and all of that, blocking them from promotions, kicking them off the Pentagon's team, and all of these things that they're doing. Absolutely not. So Lynn says, after seeing your broadcast yesterday, I didn't know Karmelo was epileptic. Yes, he absolutely is, beloved. He absolutely is. Okay. And the judge didn't want that entered in, didn't want the jury to have that information. Just like a whole lot of things they didn't want the jury to have information on. Okay, so thank you for insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please feel free to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, now here's someone who wants to go in on Hunter Metcalf. Because like I told you all days ago, Hunter Metcalf started this whole thing. He admitted it himself in an interview. No wonder he didn't testify.
What's happening, Brody? Welcome to the Dumb Decision Club. You heard me? Hey, they hunt you for life, man. Know that. I'm talking about for life. As somebody that's made quite a few in my lifetime, I'm 40 years old, man. They hunt you for life. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, I wonder, is he ever going to try to tell somebody else where to sit? Or try to kill? Or is he gonna be like, you know what, man, last time I was trying to tell somebody what to do, my brother got killed, man. So I'm gonna just chill and mind my business, man. Like, who am I to tell somebody where to sit, Because, like, dumb decisions, they hunt you for life. They hunt you for life. Like, I remember, like, why did I put habanero on my lemon pepper? Like, that was crazy. Like, I think about that all the time. Like, I shouldn't have did that. That was so crazy. Like, for real. 100 minutes.
Okay, that was hilarious. But it is going to hunt Hunter for the rest of his life, and I hope that it does. I hope and pray that it does, because he started this whole thing. Okay, because of his own foolishness, his brother is dead, pushing up daisies, and Karmelo is in prison. Okay, but it won't be for 35 years. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, listen. I'm about ready to conclude this broadcast. I want you all to see this video, though, of this Karen This Karen, oh, she just couldn't help herself. Now, so she got mad at this black woman because the black woman said something about white people's food. She was stating that it was white people's food. And so the lady got mad and just started trying to go in or whatever, threatening to call the cops. You know, the regular Karen routine. Okay. John James said, you are doing God's work. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I absolutely am. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. That's right. The Queen is doing the Lord's work. So for all the racist devils, MAGA, if you're mad, you know, that's just too bad because you work for the devil, Satan himself. Okay, and I'm working for the Most High. So who do you think is going to win this battle? Okay, please pay attention.
Saying that it's white people food is me being racist, and you said it's a violation of the Fair Housing Act.
Yes,
for
ma'am.
me to say that it's white people food, even
It's
though
a
that's a
violation of the Fair
violation of
Housing
my
Act.
freedom of.
I want you all to pay attention to Karen's lying arse, okay? Now she says that this black woman saying that it's white people's food is a violation of the Fair Housing Act. I'm sorry, say what? What in the world does that have to do with anything? What does the Fair Housing Act have to do with any of this? I find it all so nefarious. Okay, so everyone please like and share. Thank you in advance. This is all crazy. Hold on, beloveds. I'm going to a super chat. This is all crazy. Gemini said, I believe Hunter had the poke and accidentally jabbed his own brother. Ooh, honey, don't say that. That could have been a possibility too. The only reason I would say that isn't a possibility now as I think about it though, because Karmelo did say that he did it. Karmelo said, I'm not alleged, I did it. So Karmelo clearly did it. Now, either I don't think it is beyond the scope or of possibilities that Austin could have fallen on it, that he could have fallen on it, that it could have been some sort of accident. And also, I meant to tell you all this the other day. I need to bring up that interview again with Hunter because in that interview, when Hunter and his mom were standing outside, Hunter literally said, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll look for it as you all continue to listen to this, but I do believe Hunter said it was an accident. It sounded like he said, we got into a little altercation and then Austin grabbed his backpack and the guy had an accident or something like that. I'll have to double check. Okay, but thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings.
As a resident,
I'm not a
you are
resident.
not supposed.
Right, but we're only allowed to
Excuse
speak
you.
to the residents.
If someone has come to complain to me that they feel that they have been spoken to in a racist way, we have a right to ask you to leave.
But I
the
wasn't
community
talking to
area.
him.
I don't care. Your language is offensive. You can either comply with my request or you can get out. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna comply, so I'm gonna leave.
Okay, well, then I'll just have you removed.
Okay, I'll wait for the police. That's fine. So Peach Patch, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the police to come to remove me. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to work. And I feel sorry for my clients. It's not their fault.
I honestly can't. I don't know who this thing is. I've only think you guys are the residents, so I won't be able to speak to you guys. So I would recommend,
Okay, so she's
This
saying
language will
that
not be tolerated.
me saying that
You can
it's
leave
white
or you can
people
comply.
food
It's up to you.
is me
White
being
people food
racist.
is-
Okay. Listen, you guys, I need your help. I need you all's help. You all let me know, did this video end? Did the video end and restart? Because I was looking for that video of Hunter. Let me know. Somebody put a 1 in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. Somebody put a 1 in the chat. Let me know if this video ended. Hold on, I'm scrolling. Hold on. Okay, so it ended. Thank you. Okay, because I was looking for that video of Hunter. Hold on. I think I found it. Or if I didn't find it, hold on. I think this is it. I'm going to send this to my email. Give me a sec. Okay, so let's go to this clip. Oh, darn it. Okay, I'm going to let you all hear this from my phone because it wants me to sign in. I don't have time for all that. Okay, now listen to this.
I'm going to play 2 small clips of Hunter Metcalf and his mother's news interviews. One is dated April 2nd, 2025. The other is dated April 3rd of 2025. And these clips are from the original videos, and they were interviewed the day of and the day after the incident. Both reporters asked Hunter what happened.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at the track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see this. But then I looked at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. So.
What I hear, and this is my opinion, the 2 stories.
He said, "I'm not going to talk about the rest." I could have sworn in one of these clips, he said it was an accident. Hold on. Let's let her finish.
In these interviews are not different. The one with Fox has a little more context, but they're basically the same information.
I come back, we sit down.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at the track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Also grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So yeah. Just that's what I saw, and I tried to help him. But
your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
He said he tried to help him. Okay. I'm convinced I heard one of these versions where they said something about an accident. Okay. Hold on. Let me see who this is. This OG Patrice calling me? Hold on. Oh my goodness, you all. We have some news. Okay, thank you, OG Patrice. Hold on, let me get this real quick, honey. And I was just about to conclude the broadcast. Hold on here. Hold on here. Okay, it says how Karmelo Anthony's stabbing case became a racial flashpoint in Texas. So they say a Texas parole supervisor was reportedly fired after writing on Facebook that she didn't give an F about the family's loss and seemed to celebrate the pain of Austin Metcalf's family after his murderer was given a lengthy prison sentence. Okay, the latest episode fueling a debate in the suburbs of Dallas that's drawn the attention of celebrities and advocates nationwide. Now, Donna Robinson was fired Friday from the job that she's held in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for more than a decade after making an inflammatory comment about the Karmelo Anthony case. First of all, what she said may have been distasteful to some, but I'm sorry, what about freedom of speech? Robinson posted that she was glad she was just glad we didn't have to bury another Black child, and said Anthony would be protected in prison. Now, Anthony, a 19-year-old who was Black, was found guilty of murder last week and sentenced by a jury to decades in prison after he fatally stabbed Metcalf, a white teenager, at a track meet when both the boys were 17 years old. So despite the prosecution claiming in open arguments or opening statements that the case has nothing to do with race, clearly it did, okay, and Metcalf's father disavowing those who focused on race as a contributing factor, it quickly became a flashpoint in online political and racial discussions, and criticism of the sentencing has poured in from well-known figures like rapper Cardi B and Representative Jasmine Crockett. Now, Anthony's legal team argued that and here's the thing, I want you to pay attention, Juju, because Juju loves to say that Cardi B is so anti-Black. Okay, she has said some things that I disagree with, but at the end of the day, one thing about it is she'll speak up before a lot of these celebrities. Where's all these other black famous people who aren't saying a damn thing, and nor will they? Okay, now D.L. Hughley has also come out and said something, and Godfrey the comedian as well. But I'm just saying, most of these black comedians aren't saying, not comedians, these black celebrities, aren't saying anything. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say, Anthony's legal team argued that he'd acted in self-defense after he was physically confronted by a larger member of the opposing track team during the meet. But prosecutors argued Anthony intentionally escalated an otherwise mild situation by stabbing Metcalf in the chest with a folding knife. He died shortly thereafter. Commentators debated if Anthony's actions could reasonably be considered self-defense. Some claimed the response to the facts of the case would have been different if the races were reversed. We all know that it would. It's no question. Okay, so others lamented that Anthony's fate was decided by jury, a jury that included no black people, and those on both sides of the debate expressed unease over a teenager being handed a 35-year sentence. Anthony was tried as an adult under Texas law. That's another low-down thing. He was 17 when he did it, but they tried him as an adult. Supporters of Metcalf and Anthony respectively rallied outside the Collin County Courthouse Tuesday, and 2 people were reportedly arrested, including a black man was arrested on a warrant who was featured in a viral video clashing with a white Metcalf supporter clad in an American flag polo. Now, Karmelo Anthony's father, on Thursday called the situation unfortunate and one where nobody wins. He questioned if the outcome of the trial would have been the same if his son had not been tried by an all-white jury. Reporting has suggested there were several minorities on the jury, but no black people, and said he believes his son was already convicted in the court of public opinion before the trial began. And this is all true. Okay, Judge John Roach Jr., who presided over the trial, has stood by his handling of the case and thinks the jury reached the correct verdict. Roach said that Anthony seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before the consequences of committing a crime like he did. Now, Crockett, whose district, we're not going to get into all this because I already reported on all of this. Okay, but they say the Collin County Young Democrats group supported Anthony and wrote in a Facebook post that justice must be more than punishment. The Collin County NAACP posted on Facebook questioning fairness, representation, and confidence in our justice system, and questions why there were no black people on the jury. Anthony's grandmother, Tony Hayes, was filmed shouting racist bias. That's what she said, racist bias, out of her car window as she left the courthouse Tuesday. Now, so that's where they got that from. Now I'm thinking about something. Okay, OT Patrice, thanks for that article. Now, here's the thing. They said that Karmelo Anthony's grandmother, his grandmother looks young too. She looks really, I'm like, grandmother. But anyway, there was a live that someone was having on TikTok about the Karmelo Anthony situation, and someone was talking about, it was a Korean lady, and she was saying that basically, she was saying something about Karmelo Anthony, being a kid or something like that when this all happened or whatever, and then saying that he had a right to defend himself, basically, or whatever, and she felt bad for his parents. Okay, so then this white guy, who's clearly MAGA, he says, well, what would you say if I told you that she left the courthouse, his mother left the courthouse screaming racist and biased, and saying things and just shouting things? And she said, I wouldn't say anything because whatever she said, that doesn't have anything to do with Karmelo. He should not have gotten 35 years. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention. That's what he was talking about, because I'm thinking, I didn't read any reports about Karmelo's mother saying anything about that, but that's clearly what the grandmother was saying. But I want you to pay attention because the way he framed it, he made it sound as though she was yelling racist slurs, like she was saying things that were racist and biased. That's how he framed it. And he was doing all of that simply because someone was speaking up for Karmelo, who wasn't black. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they do. One word said Hunter stabbed him. I mean, he could have. I don't know. But Karmelo said he did it, beloved. Karmelo already said that he did it. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Listen, I will be back later on this evening at about 6 o'clock, 6 or 6:30. If you don't get a notification, please check the channel. You can check my community tab, Twitter, okay, because I post the links on there. And then also, that's right, Noki for Missile says it's a spiritual war. Exactly. I've been saying that, beloved. Things may go left any day. Keep tools close by. Exactly. Okay. Gemini Gates said, Queen, I'd love to have a dialogue with you on my theories. Okay, beloved, send me an email. Okay, send me an email. With that all being said, Gino Zach said Karmelo was upset. Of course he was. Of course he was. Okay. And did you all know that I report to you all? I think I showed you all a video where someone who was inside the court case basically said that the people cursed out Karmelo while they were giving the victim impact statements, that they literally were cursing him out, said all kinds of mean, hateful things. And they said that he was so upset, he was literally trembling. Okay, literally trembling. I want you all to think about that. This is very low down in affairs. And also, let me just address a question that one of you all asked me in the chat the other day that I forgot to mention. Okay, so someone asked me, and I can't remember which one of you it was, but asked me, how come none of the other YouTubers who went to New York when I was there to cover the Diddy trial, how come they're not covering this trial? Well, I'm glad you asked, because they don't care. That's why. They don't care. You see, a lot of these content creators are only in it for the money. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just telling you because you asked. So a lot of them are only in it for the money. And a lot of them, they talk about celebrity gossip, but you'll never see them really talking about serious Black issues or, you know, things that are controversial because they don't want to lose their white audience. But here's how I see that. I have white people that follow my channel as well. I've had some of them on here, like Pastor Dana Stevens, Secret Service Sam. Okay, the lady whose son, I interviewed the lady whose son, Jordan, at the age of 17, was killed by 2 Nigerians for sexting. Okay, if you all remember. So, and that just goes to prove that I'm not biased. If there's an injustice, it doesn't matter if the injustice was perpetuated upon a Black person, white person, or other, I'll still speak about it because that was absolutely sad what happened to Jordan. But so anyway, my point is this. At the end of the day, I don't ever back off from talking about these topics, whether they're controversial or not, whether I feel like they may step on someone's toes or not, or I may be stepping on someone's toes or someone may not like it or whatever. Because here's how I see it. If you are a white person who is a good white person and you're a fair white person and you don't try to be racist and hateful, then you would never be mad at anything that I'm saying. I'm not using racial slurs. I'm not disparaging white people collectively. I'm talking about the MAGA. Because the MAGA people, all of the MAGA are racist, every last one of them. And the Black MAGA are raccoons. So that's just what it is. And I don't really care to have those people watching my channel following me anyway. So I'm going to absolutely address these topics. And the good white folk, they don't have a problem with it because they talk about it too. You see, they'll come out and talk about it too. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, like I said, some people don't want to cause a ripple in the waters because they don't want to lose any of their subscribers because they don't want to lose, their any of their monetization, the money that they're making. And to them, that's more important than the Black community of which they live in. Okay, so that's just on that. Okay, so anyway, with that being said, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got